Alright, next we're going to solve the following equation for x. Now this might look complicated, but if we look in our green problem, if we had these fractions, one of the things we might do is look for common denominators, and then we can develop it from there. So 6 is made out of 2 times 3, so actually multiplying everything by 6 is going to eliminate all of those fractions. So I'm going to multiply by 6. And I'm going to multiply by 6. Now when I multiply this one by 6, I've canceled everything but a factor of 2 here, so I get 14. And then here I have 3 versions of the x left, and here I have plus 5. And then solving that equation is going to be pretty easy. We're going to use that same technique on this problem. If I want, I can factor this denominator to x plus 2 and x minus 2. Then we see that those factors already show up in the other one. So multiplying both sides by this amount is going to be useful. The other thing to keep in mind is we have some limitations. Because we have these variables in denominators and we don't want to ever divide by 0, since that gives us an undefined situation, we want to make sure that none of these denominators become 0. So to do that, we need to set each of them equal to 0 and say that that's not part of it. So in this case, if I have x plus 2 equals 0, then, well, we want to say it can't equal 0. So that means x can't equal negative 2. And in the same way, x minus 2 doesn't equal 0, so x can't equal positive 2. And notice that those are taken care of here as well. Okay, so the thing to keep in mind now that we want to multiply each side by these factors. So I'm going to multiply by x squared minus 4 on both sides. And over here, also going to multiply by x squared minus 4. Okay. Now as we're distributing this through, it's easy to see when we multiply it by the first term that these cancel, and I'm left with x. When I multiply it by the second term, we need to keep in mind that this is built out of these two factors. So the x plus 2's cancel, and we are left with, in the numerator, an x minus 2, and that's multiplied by this 2. So we get 2 times x minus 2. And in the same way here, we have the x minus 2 factor canceling, so we have 5 times x plus 2. Now once we've gotten to this point, we can distribute. So we have 2x and then minus 4, and here we have 5x plus 10. Now I can do a few things. I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to move the x's to one side, move the constant terms to a different side. So in this case I had 3 x's. I subtracted 5x from both sides. So when I subtract 5x from both sides, then I get negative 5x plus 1x plus 2x. So that's going to give me negative 2x. And then over here, I just have my 10 left. So now I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So now I have negative 2x equals 14. So if I divide by a negative 2 or multiply by a negative 1/2, those two things are equivalent. So now here the negatives cancel. 2 times a half is 1, and 1 times x gives us x. And here we have 14 times a negative half, so that's going to be negative 7. And we found our solution, and it's not one of our restricted x values. So then we're good to go.